evening and welcome to a Thursday edition of Super League Raw Weekly. Your job, as always, ladies and gentlemen, you early risers, the likes of Dawn Kirkby already in the chat, Bazza Kingston, Craig Forth, Andy Bibby, you all know what to do. Press that like and share button right now. Let everybody know that you're watching the #1 online magazine show for Rugby League, Super League Raw. Good evening to my old mucker, Reginald Nixon. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Are you well?
Indeed. Mr. Sale, how are you?
Good evening. Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you've all got a drinky poo in hand.
A drinky poo indeed. Tony Pennington in the house. Tony, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, get involved. We want you all fully a part. No Rugby League, of course, tonight, but Rugby League is here in the shape of Super League Raw. Let's get into some news. First of all, the new members. Massive thank yous to John Wilkinson, Paul Smith, Andrea Valentine, Phil Webster, Ian Rispin, who we had the pleasure of all weekend, Sally Ann Allen, lovely lady, and her son. They've joined Super League Raw. We met them at the weekend, and Billy Ingham as well. Some great new members. If you want to join them and become a part of the greatest community in Rugby League, join now. Super League Raw membership is open. They've joined. Join them and join us. Great to see so many people joining the community, boys.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great to see them on Saturday and Sunday as well at Ellen Road.
It was indeed. Billy Ingham has said, would we mind mentioning the fact that Whitehaven have got a GoFundMe page in the description of this show is a link to the GoFundMe page. We know times are hard out there, but anybody who's watching from Cumbria who want to see an old club survive, Whitehaven needing love and support. So there you go, Billy. You asked and I did for you, sir. Not a problem at all. Like I say, Super League Raw membership open, new members, a couple of other shout outs as well. We had the pleasure of a great night with Sean Murray, a Salford player, young Salford Academy player. He, his dad and his friends had a very long night on Saturday night, didn't they? Very long indeed.
Oh, I did.
It was a bit keen. It was a bit keen. I'm trying to remember what the name of the gaff was, quite frankly. I'm trying to remember. The Scarborough Hotel. The Scarborough Hotel, it was called. And we had the pleasure of Sean, his dad. We had a couple of OKR fans in there, a couple of Leeds fans. And to say he got a little bit leery, a little bit rugby leaguey is an understatement. He was outstanding.
Right nose fan in there, I think it was from Barrow or something like that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we did. So, Sean, your dad, everybody in that community, hopefully you're watching us this week. Hello to you. We fully enjoyed that Saturday night with you. A very respectful debate about who would be in the dream team. It was fantastic. And also, young Oliver Steed. Oliver Steed, you'll have seen him on Sky. You'll have seen him in photos. Young Oliver was the young dragon dressed as a dragon. Lovely lad. Met him and his mum at the ground. I said I'd give him a shout out as well. This young kid wants to play for the Catalan Dragons one day. So remember the name, ladies and gentlemen. Oliver Steed, let's keep an eye out for him. Let's see how he gets on. But hello, young Oliver. We hope you are well. For those who've just joined us, like, share, subscribe. Let everybody know that you're watching Super League Raw. Right, we said a couple of shout-outs there. Magic Weekend, boys. Let's go there. Fully enjoyable weekend. The community coming together. The Rugby League family coming together. We need more. We need to keep events like this because it does keep that feeling that Rugby League is a community sport, is a family sport alive, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think the thing we noticed, Dave, and we were talking about over both days, the number of shirts from the championship we saw as well, Widnes, Bradford, I think a couple of Keighley shirts as well.
Yeah,
and you know that's brilliant as well. That there's fans from other clubs who were there on the day. Thoroughly enjoyed the weekend. Shame some of the games were a little bit closer. I think most games were a bit of a blowout, apart from the last one.
Yeah.
But, thoroughly enjoyed it with some great people, had a good laugh. Sit with Saints and Wigan fans on the Saturday when we were watching Saints, Wigan and Leeds Wire. I don't think I've laughed that much in a long time. Not because Saints got beat, but just some of the comments and the way they took it on the chin was brilliant. Just a real good crack all afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, the Super League Raw community that got together, I mean, the likes of Greg Roach, Don Kirby, etc. We want that to grow again next year. It really did make for a better occasion. We all got together. We were people that never knew each other 2 years ago. There we all are, sat as a community, pulling each other's leg, having a banter, buying each other beers. It was a fantastic night. And, a couple of days, should I say, as well as the evening. So, yeah, let's hope next year we can double it or treble it or whatever it is. Steph, obviously you were there. Greg just alluded to it there. It wasn't a spectacle in terms of what was on the field of play. what went on off the field of play in terms of the fans and the community feel and the laugh and the banter, that was good. And also, as I pointed out when I posted today the tries of the round for round 22, there was some belting tries scored at the weekend.
Oh, 100%. It was, although the games weren't classics, there was some brilliant tries scored and also some brilliant defensive displays as well, and which is just as important. But, the actual experience itself, I was made up with the fans, the way they interacted, and in the fan zone and stuff like that. We had people coming up to us who watched the show who were maybe not members, but they watched us every week and got came over and said hello, which was lovely. And it was like I said to my dad on the way home, when my daughter was with me, and I'd just let her go off and get a drink or whatever. If that had been another sport, I probably wouldn't have done that. But because of the atmosphere and how friendly it is and the way people are respectful of each other, I think that's the most magic thing about it for me.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And, you said it there, great that so many people came and said that we're doing a great job. And you alluded to it there, not all the members. And look, I appreciate times are tough out there. But guys, if you want us back for 2025, if you want us bigger and better, we really need your support. We need you to be a part of the membership. And the benefits are so much better. Just ask Dawn Kirkby and the gang who was with us at the weekend. It's a great community that we're building. Do become a part of it. A great question in the chat by a member, John Wilkinson, says, did we ever think that Super League Raw would become as popular as it is now? 4 years ago, Greg, when we started this adventure, absolutely not.
No, we were two mates getting together mid-pandemic, I think.
Yeah.
To keep each other entertained and to talk about rugby league, and that's all it was, just as a chat between mates about what was going on in the world of rugby league. And well, the work you've put in, Dave, is absolutely phenomenal over the last few years. So no, we didn't, but we're happy and we're glad that it is that we've managed to meet so many people and bring everybody together that we have done.
Yeah, and I think Greg's being a little bit modest there. 4 years ago, I was in a very different place as a human being. And Greg jumped at the opportunity of making sure that I had something to do on a Tuesday night. And he's been here ever since. So he started basically for lots of reasons. Believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a lot to be thankful for my good mate, Mr. Nixon, but that we will keep for another time. And of course, along the way, we've picked up a few strays. Instead. But anyway, right. We talked about what a great event it is. First and foremost, Ellen Road. I'll just quickly go around the screen. For me, Ellen Road not good enough as a venue. However, could not fault the prices of the beer and the refreshments. Couldn't fault that. That for me, really, really good value for money. So well done there. So Greg, for yourself, Ellen Road, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, good atmosphere. Didn't look as empty as some venues have, especially on the Saturday. Not a lot of leg room, even for me. There's no leg room for me. God help people who are like Greg Roach, who are 6 foot 125. The prices were good. Fan zone could have been better. I've seen better fan zones.
Yeah,
I'd give it a solid 5.5 out of 10. I think if I were to grade it. Yeah, could do better, I think would be the end of term report for Ellen Road. Yeah.
Steph, your thoughts on the venue?
Yeah, I think it's dated, isn't it? I think that's the thing. I think the best part of it was being able to park right next to the ground. It was nice, dead easy for that. And I concur with you on the prices of beer and food, and they were all pretty decent as well. So that was good. Personally, I'd like to see it at either Man City or even potentially Everton's new ground. I think one of the only times I've been blown away by a stadium is when Lee played at Tottenham for the 1895 Cup before the Challenge Cup. And that was just the wow factor. So I think if we want to wow as a magic, I think we've got to go to a modern new stadium, and I think Everton would be perfect for it.
Yeah, I think Neil Reddick's point's a good one. I think the fact that the stadium was a little bit smaller probably helped in terms of how it looks on the TV.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Now, gents, there's been reports that Paris and Dublin are being looked at. I'm just going to go first and then by all means chip in on this one. We can't fill Ellen Road. If you can't get people in the heartlands of Rugby League to go to Magic Weekend right in the middle of the heartlands of Rugby League, and we saw what happened at the International in Paris, it ain't going to happen. We've got to stop talking about Magic being an expansion exercise. It's not. It's a celebration of the game, and it's bringing together the family of Rugby League. The best way of expanding our sport is being done. It's being done on the field. great entertainment, and it's people like us the fans, that need to be. So, for example, you know, the amount of people that we spoke to at the weekend, I mean, for example, great example, Sally Ann Allen. She's only been watching rugby league for 2 years. Now she can't get enough of it. We need more Sally Ann Allens, who's now a member. She's that engrossed in Super League. She's now doing that. That's what we need. That's what we want. So that, for me, is what we need to do. Greg, Paris, Dublin, not for me.
No. And I think we've got to remember next year, I think the World Club Championship could very well be in Australia.
Yeah.
Then we've got Vegas.
Yeah.
And then Dublin. You know, if anybody's recently been to Dublin, €15 for a pint in the city centre. Flights will go up, accommodation will go up. You know, Baz has made a good point. The Midlands, Aston Villa, Leicester's ground, you know, Nottingham Forest, Notts County's ground's a decent ground. We've got a lot of grounds. Preston at Deepdale, Preston, Jack Hanson's saying. And I agree with Steph. I think, you know, Everton's new ground could be a real good venue. Yes, it is on the docks, Neil. It is, but there's good transport links to and from it.
And it's the nightlife. The reason why Newcastle's so popular is because not only, you know, it's because of the nightlife. It's right in the middle of the city. Everton's on the docks. It's a small taxi ride, you know, bus ride into the town.
There's a station just outside it. No, let's not get carried away. You know, as you say, we can't fill a stadium in the heartlands of rugby league country. There's no point in taking it to the massive stadiums in Dublin or Paris.
The concept of Magic is a brilliant one, and you know it's a good one because the Aussies nicked it from us, which doesn't happen. But then look at what the Aussies do. They take a brilliant idea and make it even better. Where did they host it? Suncorp. Right in that thing. So it's not, they didn't put it in Perth, did they? You know, where they're looking to think it. They put it in the rugby league heartland, there kind of thing. So that's why I think Everton would be good, because it's still commutable. It's still within an hour for most, 2 hours, I know, for the whole clubs kind of thing. So that's why I think it's a great concept. It's just getting the venue right, and I think it's got to be a world class venue to make it special and make it so people want to go.
Well, what I would say is, you know, as a night out goes, Liverpool is, you know, I won't say on a par with Newcastle, but both are great nights out. There's no question about that. I've got to put David Sale on because David is our saviour. He's the man who's going to get us the full games on Sky Plus. So well done, David. And not just that, one day, who knows, he might put my CV in so that I can become a commentator at Sky Sports alongside Mr. Nixon and Mr. Sale. I'm sure that everybody will give a thumbs up to that one. Mr. Sale, CV is available on request, my friend. Don't you worry about that. Just come our way for a little bit of that. Right, what I'm going to do now, we've not done this for a while, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know if you've seen it, gents, but a little bit of a different flavour to In the Sheds this week. I did it all in one go. Far easier for me to produce, I have to say. But Magic lent itself to that. I could do it all in one go. What I might do going forward is maybe double up. So, like, you know, the Friday games, the Saturday games, it just takes the workload just down a little bit. But we haven't plugged In the Sheds for a while. So I thought, you know what? Why not do a little bit of the best bits from this week's In the Sheds? And this might actually create a little bit of a conversation between ourselves in terms of some of the points that are raised in this. So here are the best bits from Magic Weekend In the Sheds. 14-0, Matt Whitley does his best Wonga Blake impression. Oh, yeah. Try line beckoning, Matt. The try line's beckoning. What we're going to do? Let's try an offload instead. Why? Josh Bewley's. And just like a lamb's shoulder, when it's roasted to perfection with a bit of garlic and rosemary, is a thing of beauty. So was the shoulder of Ty. Oh, whoa. Talk about tenderising Miller. It was a thing of quality, that, from Ty. Come here, son. Have a bit of this shoulder. And, of course, the ball spilled. Williams goes off. Tucked into it, didn't it? Tucked into that 4-pointer. Did George Williams quite rightly, you know. Whoa, carry knife out. Thank you very much, Roderick. I'll take the slice. Superb. The Hanley try. Oh, it was as magnificent as Bo Derrick running towards Dudley Moore in 10. Oh, it was beautiful. No wonder Adrian laughed. But actually going back to Hanley, what a shot from Tim Lafay. Oh, nice on your man, Hanley. Oh, yes, it was like watching an episode of Takeshi's Castle. You picked the wrong door. Hanley boy. You don't run at the door that's shut. Fingergate. Not since Mr. Tickle has a story of Pinkies been so discussed. Oh, yes, what are you doing, Mikey lad? What are you doing? No need to put your hands in there. I don't know what he's looking for. Maybe a bit of gold in a filling. I don't know. But you don't be doing that, Mikey. Oh, no. In that as well. This was a poor performance from Catalan. And can I just say as well, and, a lot of people wouldn't have got into this level of detail on the day, really disappointed in the Catalan Dragons team. And I'm going to explain why. At full time, there was a clutch of Catalan Dragons fans to the left of the tunnel. Probably only talking about 20, 30 of them, all with the flags, etc. And not a single Catalan Dragons player went to those fans at full time to thank them. I think they're great players. I really do. I think they complement the Huddersfield Giants really well. Again, unsung heroes probably for people who don't watch the Huddersfield Giants on a regular basis. But Halsall and Hewitt, for me, really, really good. Really, really good. If they had bald heads, they'd be the Mitchell brothers, but they haven't. Outstanding. Here you go, a little taster of In the Sheds, ladies and gentlemen. I particularly like my Bo Derek running to Dudley Moore. I have to say, I particularly like that one. But I want to start with that Catalan Dragons clip that we just had there. Two things really in that game. The first one at full time, I thought was a shocking display by the Dragons players that they didn't go over and salute the fans. I mean, that young kid who went dressed as a dragon, they should have made a right fuss of him. I appreciate you've just been battered. I get that. But they've got to do better. I mean, at the moment, things aren't good at Catalan. They need to treat the fans better, or it could become quite toxic quite quick. Yeah,
definitely. And it's especially those fans who've actually travelled from abroad, to come and watch the team. There's one thing that rugby players can do, and it's the absolute bare minimum. Even if you've been tonked by 17, you're going to get a load of grief off the fans. It's, go and show some respect for those people who've paid their hard-earned money to come and watch us. So, I get that they're disappointed, like you said in that clip, but the one thing you can do is at least applaud your fans for paying the good money and coming watching you and cheering you on, even when you're losing.
Yeah, Kerry Wall there says, I'm sure that kid goes all the away games. He goes a lot of them. We spoke to his mum. She actually takes him. He supports Catalan, and she actually takes him. He's got a season ticket. So the kid's got is incredible. And
he goes 8 times a year, apparently. They're from Liverpool, actually.
Incredible.
And he goes 8 times a year. That's dedication. Yeah, I agree with what you both say. As disappointed as you are, I think they were the only losing side that didn't go to applaud their fans over the whole weekend.
Yeah, it's poor.
Poor form, poor show.
Yeah.
Could be a reason for it. We don't know, but even so, you need to be thanking your fans. Win, lose or draw. If you've travelled from that distance, some of you have the awareness to thank them.
Courtesy.
That's the word I was looking for.
Something not right. There's something not right there at Catalan. And I'm really pleased that nothing further came of Fingergate. I think for me that was a nonsense. It was something about nothing, wasn't it, really?
Well, to be honest, Mikey Lewis is a lucky boy, I think, because he did attempt to gouge and then thought about it again. I don't know whether it was in the same incident or a little later on. Don't put your fingers in somebody's mouth and then say they've bit you. You
don't know where his mouth's been, do you?
No. Well, I mean, my daughter, my eldest, didn't go, and she brought this up. But there's a certain St Helens, a women's player for St Helens who did kind of something similar, and accused another player of biting her, and then was saying, "Oh, that's not the dumb thing." Mikey Lewis, what's he doing there? I'm thinking, oh, hypocritical.
And kettle.
Yeah, but we won't go there.
we won't go there now. But I was delighted that was the case. I don't know if you saw the new feature, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've seen it, but today, for the first time ever, we picked our top 5 tries of the round. A little musical montage for you on Facebook. Did you see it, gentlemen? Did you see it?
I've not had a chance today, mate. But
so the winner of try of the round was Ryan Hall. Brilliant. Team try, started on the halfway, must have gone through at least 6 hands, maybe 7, and Hall finishes off in the corner. That got our try the round. I think Ferryman was second. Duffy, I remember, was 5th. Was Gary third?
Ferryman try was a great try. That was Lee. I was talking to some Wigan fans the other night, and that was Lee Breers-esque, that try from Ferryman.
Stunning.
Yeah.
It was, but again, it was a stunning try. And look, we think Farman's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I think the kid's got a massive future in the game. But he wasn't man of the match.
No.
He wasn't man of the match. Sky at it again. I mean, he wasn't man of the match. He had a good game, but Junior Nsemba was incredible.
He's monstrous. They were probably upset they couldn't give it Harry Robinson, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's Joe DiMaggio gone? I want to know. But anyway, that's another story.
Where's
Joe DiMaggio gone. That's what I want to know. Put it in your pantry with your cupcakes, is what I say. Anyway, that's by the by, innit? That's by the by. Right, okay. Right, let's see what we'll do very, very quickly. Let's go into where we're going to go next. Let's go there. So the next thing we'll have a quick discussion about, if it's all right with you. Like I say, the top 5, keep an eye out for that. We might continue to do that. We're going to go here. We've been here before. We'll go there again. We could do a whole show on this. It's reared its head again. NRL, a dream or a reality? A lot of people keep harping on our best players will be taken. Our best players are taken anyway. So that's not really good. This for me is about the financial viability of the sport. It's about it being governed in the right way. I don't see any problem with this. I am hoping and praying that we get an NRL Europe very, very soon. And actually, before I bring you in, chaps, it's been rumoured that they will be invited to join, that this will be a breakaway. How that leave that for me, where's that leave the championship? Where does that leave one? But I think under the Australian model, they'll have to look at themselves and apply like Papua New Guinea's done at the moment. So they're going to have to look at their business model, etc., etc. Could it lead to mergers? Question. But your thoughts on this one, Greg? Are you like me? I think it has to happen because otherwise, we're not going to have a sport.
I'm going to be really dramatic here, and people might think I'm being a drama queen. If it doesn't happen, I fear for the future of rugby league in its present form. I really, really do. I don't think the fan base has ever been as disillusioned in rugby league for a very, very long time as it is now. The kind of the 70s, mid 70s, and the mid 90s were times when the sport was in crisis and things happened to remodel the sport, to boost the sport. We had the Sky takeover in 95 that eventually, kind of after all the arguments about mergers and whatever, was a massive boost to the sport and saw an injection of cash and TV coverage for the first time. And I think we're at that stage again where a lot of fans are disillusioned and something needs to happen to see the game live up to its potential, the potential that it had in 95 with Sky that hasn't quite happened for whatever reason. And as that comment says there, they know how to market and promote the game.
Yeah.
Tina Turner was promoting the NRL in the early 90s. Yeah, Tina Turner. So massive global superstar is promoting their sport and making it a commercial success. It's the biggest sport in Australia.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. I mean, look, Sky have made a massive improvement this season, albeit Sky Plus has been a bit of a shocker. But you saw the awards ceremony, the Hall of Fame awards ceremony. That's how you do an awards ceremony. The Man of Steel this year was really poor. It was like, it wasn't rehearsed right. The sound was rubbish. Very, very amateur. It's not just the sport and the way they present it and the coverage and the pre-game show and the after-game. It's not half an hour before. They're on 2 hours before. They're on 2 hours after. You've got the John show, all that kind of great razzmatazz. It's also the awards ceremonies and things like that they just do at a far higher level. Before I bring Steph in on this, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of people have asked, the quickest way to get to our membership page is to scan that QR code on your screen into your mobile phone right now. That'll take you to Patreon. That's how you can read up on all the different membership packages. Thanks very much for being interested. Just wanted to mention that because I've had a couple of messages. Steph, NRL.
Yeah, I'm with Reggie. I think it has to happen for the good of our sport. I think we need to rebrand. I think we need to become NRL Europe. We've got the Women's Super League for football. They kind of how they got rid of that when we already had it. I don't know.
We didn't copyright it. It was the
worst thing we ever
did.
How we let that happen, I do not know. But I think it needs it's a total revamp for me. And I think the good thing with IMG is the standards are being brought up. And I think there's things where you could say to other clubs who aspire to be Super League teams, this is the minimum standards you need to get into NRL Europe. And I think if we want to, I think everybody's agreed we want to go to at least 14 sides so we can get rid of loop fixtures and have it as we play home and away and that's it. If we want to emulate where we want to get to 16 and maybe 18 like the NRL clubs are going to, they've got the blueprint for it. They know what needs to be done to drive those standards. And hopefully it'll drive investment, a big relaunch of it with all the Aussie razzmatazz, what they put into it. And I think that's the only way we're going to get our broadcast sponsorship up. From it going down, we need it to be going up, and then we can invest in better players. And I don't agree at all that it'll end up our players going to NRL. Like Dave said, that happens anyway.
Yeah, happens anyway.
What I would like to see is the more Tom Amones and Edwin Apapes who are playing in the Queensland Cup maybe get dispensation that we can have more of those types of players rather than an actual NRL player. I think they should be the only ones that count on quota rather than Queensland Cup players. And bring more of those players over to because they're standard of Super League, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, they're looking at the quota spots, aren't they, for 2026 in terms of players who've been over here for 6 years and more, which again, I think is a good shout. If they applied to trade in this country for 6 years and more, it's only right and appropriate that they're classed as, players that have improved our game and they get dispensation.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Bibby said it in the chat there that not another RL in crisis story, and the game's 140 years old, still going. It's still going, Andy, because people have stepped in and saved it.
Mm.
We're reliant on sugar daddies. That's what we're reliant on.
On Sky.
The NRL aren't, and I think that's the thing. The NRL know how to market it, and dare I say, when it comes to TV rights and negotiation, they're no fools either. No fools either. So.
We need a huge broom, and it needs to sweep everybody out that is standing in the way of rugby league becoming what it can become. And if that is getting rid of everybody who's at the RFL at this moment in time, then I will support it 100%.
Taxi for the RFL. Gary Robbins in the chat there. He's in favour of it as well, which is great. And as Kev Wall saying there, 2023, losses of 2 million at two of the biggest clubs in our game. That tells you everything that you need to know. It's been propped up by McManus's, Moran's, Everington's, etc. It's not sustainable. It's not. Derek Beaumont's come out as well many a time and just said that it's not investable. We need to change the way we do it. Please let the NRL rumours be true. I think it would revolutionise our sport. One thing's for certain, they would not allow rugby league in Great Britain and Europe to be classed as secondary to rugby union. No. They would give it the platform it deserves because they've done it in Australia. They'll do it here. They'll put the money, the firepower behind it. And our gladiators, as I've always said, regardless of who you support, what rugby league players put their bodies through for our entertainment, let's hope that they get the respect that they deserve, because if the game grows, they'll get a bit more money in the back pocket and they fully deserve every pound.
It's not even playing second fiddle to rugby union. It's playing second fiddle to almost every other sport as far as the media is concerned.
Darts.
Yeah. If you watch BBC Sports, BBC Breakfast News on a Friday and a Saturday morning when there's been three Super League games on a Thursday night and a Friday night, very, very rarely did they get mentioned. Yeah, very rarely. We had on Northwest Tonight on Friday, we had a brief mention that Wigan were playing Saints and Wellington were playing Leeds at Magic Weekend, and that was it.
Yeah,
that was it.
To be fair, Reggie, though, they don't read out the Premiership Rugby Union scores either. I think it's rugby.
They'll always have a union story, whether it's to do with, it's usually international based.
Yeah, that's what I mean, international. Yeah. But that's where we've got to get the NRL Europe and NRL Australia and have some form of competition that to make the international game go, or something between those has got to get the international game going as well, and like your Pacific Island people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Joe Dalgreen has finally shook off the Jaeger bombs and has come in into Joe. Tony Kerr is with us as well. Good to have Tony in his company as well. Right, let's go to the next one. I think we'll probably come back to that over the course of the close season because, of course, our magazine show will continue throughout the winter, ladies and gentlemen. Another reason to give us your support. Let's go to this one. Brad Arthur, 2025, but rumours of a get-out clause. I don't know if that's true or not. Great that he's staying if you're a Leeds Rhinos fan. Of course, Paul Rowley now clearly staying at Salford Red Devils at least for one more season. But if there is a get-out clause, I wouldn't be very happy about that if I was Leeds Rhinos, because at any point he could be jettisoned back to Australia and you're back in limbo. It just doesn't show for me the right level of commitment. What's your view on it?
It depends. What's the get-out clause? If a job
in the NRL comes up.
Right, yeah, I mean... It's not very committal, is it? You know, Sam Burgess hasn't got an NRL clause, has he?
No, but I'm sure if the job came knocking, I'm sure he may be tempted.
Yeah, but it's that to me says though, if it was Sam Burgess, then Warrington would get compensated for it if there's no NRL clause, whereas Leeds Rhinos are going to get nothing. So for me, that stinks of Ian Blease not being a very good negotiator. If I'm being honest.
Ian Blease coming in for the wrath of Sale, dearie me. Whoa.
If that just going off what you've said, if that is what it is, then that's a terrible negotiation for me.
Wow. I feel like, yeah.
You know, the guy's been in charge of 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
There's been an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a big improvement against Wigan, but against the wire, I have to say, if you're a Leeds Rhinos fan.
I mean, Matt Duffy on one leg ring round them.
That's a concern, isn't it? I mean, obviously, they lost Croft, didn't they? And, you know, it's fair to say he's probably been one of their better players this season. They've not had many. But, yeah, I was really disappointed. I thought the first half was decent, but overall, I was disappointed with the Rhinos. I actually had a bad feeling in the morning. I thought, based off what they did to Wigan, Warrington could have been caught out there. And at no point in that game did I ever feel that Warrington were going to lose it.
No, they did well the first half, though. I think apart from that tie hit, when you got the George Williams try, it was 2-0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2-0, yeah. And then the shoulder of tie, I have to say, that's one of the best pieces of commentary. I have to give them the due. That shoulder of tie comment in commentary, that's probably the finest bit of commentary all season. The shoulder of tie, I love it.
Dave Woods is a great rugby league commentator.
Superb, mate.
I won't have a word said against Dave Woods.
Well, he is. There's him and Mark Wilson. They're solid away, aren't they?
Yeah. Very good.
Happy day.
No, but going back to the Brad Arthur situation, it does smack a little bit of desperation in that. Yeah. Well, you stay another year, but of course. If somebody else knocks on the door, we'll pack your bags, we'll order your taxi, we'll drive you to the airport ourselves,
and get nothing for it.
And yeah, it just, I don't know. It just, if it's true, it's
yeah. I mean, had he signed a 2-3 year deal, I sort of get it. But a 1 year deal with a get out clause, if that's true, very, very odd indeed.
Unless they've got somebody lined up.
Well, maybe. Right, let's get into the top performers from round number 22. Here they come.
It is time to take a look at the top performers from Magic Round. The top try scorer with a brilliant hat-trick is Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves. The most try assists came from Jack Campagnolo and Tyrone May with 2. The most metres at Magic went to Matty Ashton of the Warrington Wolves with 243. The top tackle buster was Junior Nsemba of the Wigan Warriors with 11. The most clean breaks was another party with Warrington Wolves, Matt Duffy, Matty Ashton and Danny Walker, Edwin Pape, Elia Minchella, Kalepi Tanginoa, Bailey Simonon and Cesar Rouge all getting 2 apiece. The most offloads came from Hakeem Maludi, Edwin Pape and Tim Lafai with 4, whilst the top hard meter maker was Junior Nsemba again with 173. The top tackler was Jake Burns of St Helens with 52, whilst the top goal kicker was Oliver Leyland of the London Broncos with 6. These were your top performers from Magic Round, round number 22.
So there were the top performers from Magic Round, and of course these were the results. Greg already said it a little bit earlier in the show. Quite a lot of blowouts, unfortunately, at Magic. They didn't get the memo. They just didn't get the memo. But not to worry. But in there were some fantastic tries. Broncos 29, Hull FC 4, Warriors 20, Saints 0, Warrington 24, Rhinos 6, Leopards 26, the Red Devils 0, Dragons 4, Robins 36, and the Giants 20, Tigers 12. The Tigers having a very decent effort coming back in the second half. Let's just pick out a couple of key bits in this and then we'll move on, gentlemen. First of all, yet again, Josh Rourke, London Broncos, simply sensational. The flick out the back door. Oh, yes.
The way he took his try as well.
Yeah, lovely.
Oh, my word. That took some scoring, that did. He could have quite easily have dropped it.
Yeah,
he's just. I mean, if it's true that he's signed for Wakey, they are picking up one hell of a player.
Yeah,
they really are. And you've got to feel sorry for London a little bit because there's rumours that some of their better players are leaving.
Oh, go in, mate. You know,
what happens if IMG changed their mind and London stay in Super League?
You can't sit and wait for that, can you?
I felt for Mike Eccles in his post-match stuff because he alluded to that. You know, they're being, even if they were to stay up, you know, they're just being picked off now, player after player. But yeah, Rourke.
It's a shame.
Yeah, Rourke's a great. But I took some Reggie Pelters in the WhatsApp saying he'd get into most Super League sides at fullback, and I think he would. I can't think of many better. You know, Dufty. You know. Wellesby if he's playing fullback. But what the difference is between Wellesby and Dufty and players like that is they're not playing for London.
Do you know what? You've said that a couple of times. I think the only exceptions to Josh Rourke, Warrington don't need him.
No.
Saints don't need him because they've got Wellesby and they've got Robertson. Wigan don't need him. And you could argue that with Evans in the form that he's in, and he spent a lot of cap of KR, the top four aside, I think Rourke would have been. You've bought a good fullback, to be fair, next season. But you know, I think any other team other than the top four, there's an argument that Josh Rourke would have been a good pickup, especially Catalan, especially Leeds.
Yes, I agree.
I was going to say Catalan. He would fit in perfectly with Catalan.
I'd love to see him in a really good side. You know, where you've got really good halfbacks who are passing the ball at the back to him and giving him ball in good space and quick space. You know, that's the difference. Come
on, Steph. Rourke doesn't take balls from other people out the back. He delivers them. He's like a postman. Come on, behave yourself, sir. Behave yourself. Right, let's get into the second game. We've already talked about Ferriman's try. Absolutely superb. One's Sirvinen and one's Bell went off. Saints were always going to be right up against it. I had a bit of sport with somebody on Facebook, YouTube, forgive me, I can't remember the chap's name now, but I said on in the sheds that, you know, with Saints Ellen's absentees, Wigan might have been a bit disappointed with the final score. He said that he thought that Wigan had equally as many out. My argument was, you're having a giggle. The strength in depth that Wigan had, far superior. For me, I think Wellens would have been quite happy. I mean, not happy that they've lost, but I think before kickoff, he might have been expecting a lot worse, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Wigan would have been disappointed. I expected a bigger score. Thought Saints put up a good performance considering the players they started with and the players they lost. You know, if Bell and Sirenen are out for a considerable time, that's a massive blow.
No, Bell's not. Bell's not a million miles off from this weekend, I think is what they're saying, but he won't play.
I think Sirenen's out a bit longer, isn't he?
Sirenen's going to be out, I think, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. So, you know, I think Wellens would have been relieved, let's say, that it wasn't a bigger score. And there were some good performances in that, you know, there were some good performances for Saints.
Yeah.
On the day.
Yeah.
Oh, by that point, the San Miguel was
well and truly flowing. And the fact that you weren't drinking San Miguel says it all. Steph, Dawn Baker, hello, Dawn, a proud Super League Raw member. She's asking how he felt Kieran went in the game. What was your thoughts on Kieran?
Yeah, I think he did a decent job, didn't he, in the halves there. It's not obviously his position. I thought he had a really good game. I thought he did well, and I think defensively he did well as well. I think that was the biggest thing for Wigan. They were always going to score tries. It was just keeping Saints out, and they did a great job of that defensively.
Fair enough. But whilst we're talking, Mike Smith here, clearly an Oldham fan. Yes, many congratulations to Oldham. They've been promoted to the Championship this week, so absolutely congratulations to Shaw Long, everybody, Mike Ford, all the people down there at Oldham. Great to see a long-established, historic club like Oldham doing things right, and very best wishes for 2025 in the Championship is what I would say to you guys. Right, we'll go to Warrington. Greg mentioned it, Dufty, one leg. It could be costly. 5 to 6 weeks, Warrington's announced on their social media. I broke it on Instant Reaction yesterday in terms of the severity and the length. Got it on a good from a good source. That is bright side, touch and go. But they're hoping he's going to be back in time for the playoffs. But in terms of Warrington's playoff ambition, many people now will be thinking, well, that's Warrington finished. There's a young lad called Kai Taylor-Ray who's going to be playing for Warrington at Castleford this week. Very, very talented young man indeed. I'm personally, as a Warrington fan, very excited to see the future of the Warrington Wolves number one, because let me tell you now, this is the eventual successor for Matt Dufty. Greg, Kai Taylor-Ray, looking forward to it this week?
Mate, if the Sky commentators and the Sky presenters think Harry Robertson's a good fullback, wait till they see Kai Taylor-Ray. My word, this kid is talented. Really talented. And, you know, I've seen some comments on Facebook about, oh, we need to put Thewlis at fullback and Lindop on the wing. No, Kai Taylor-Ray is the real deal. He will, and Castleford is a great game to bring him into. He is going to be a class player. And is the natural successor at fullback to Dufty when the sad day that Dufty decides he's going to go and pursue other interests. Let's say
at the end of his contract, they are expecting that he's going to go back, and it's going to be the new Perth team, isn't it? They think he's going to go back to.
You know, Kai Taylor-Ray is going to be some player.
Yeah, John, you're quite right. He did play against London. He took a bad knock, if you remember. But this kid, I had a great pleasure of watching him all last year in the reserves. He's a hell of a player. Gary Robbins there. Should they have took him off? They should have done. But I'll tell you why he didn't get brought off. Because Dufty himself didn't want to go off. Dufty, on good authority, is chasing Ballasteel. He wants Ballasteel. He got his 3 points. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But overall, that could cost him Ballasteel, because I think now it's advantage Mikey Lewis. Mikey Lewis has got to be very, very close to Dufty in the tables. Lewis has got 5 weeks on him now. That could be pivotal in terms of who picks up that Man of Steel and all the other trophies that go with it as well. Another comment there, just a quick one. I know that you were taken with him, Steph. You talked to me on Sunday about the impact of Danny Walker off the bench for Warrington. You felt that was also a game changer.
Yeah, I thought Walker was exceptional. I think, like I said, it was nip and tuck, wasn't it? It was 2-0 when Danny Walker came on, and I think he changed it. He put that spark into Wire and really got him going. And I know Dufty had an absolute blinder, and how he carried on after that. It was superhuman. You talk about Man of Steel. That was that's one of the things that enshrines Man of Steel for me in terms of that performance. Yeah. And I'm absolutely devastated for him. Absolutely devastated for Dufty, because he does deserve it. Right up there with Mikey Lewis this season. But yeah, I thought Danny Walker was a step above everyone else when he came on, and he changed the game for Warrington 100%. He was my man of the match. I know a lot of people went for Dufty, but for me, he was man of the match.
I agree. I think that's the way forward for Warrington now. Starting with Powell, starting with solidity. I said they should have done this at Wembley against Wigan. They should have started with Powell and brought Walker off the bench. But you know, Powell gives organisation, gives stability, gives solidity. Then they drop him into the loose forward berth. They bring Walker on. And Walker does what Walker does best. It takes the pressure off Walker of having to do that from the first play almost. And I think it's been a clever move by Burgess. I think maybe he noticed it at Wembley, that he thought about the Wembley game and thought we needed solidity. Not saying that Danny Walker can't provide that, but you know, Powell's got a lot of experience. He's been there, done it. He's worn several T-shirts. He provides that cool head at the beginning of a game, and then Walker comes on and does what Walker does best, which is just just what he did on the day, breaks through, makes clean breaks, is buzzing around, is a pain in the backside for the opposition. So yeah, I agree with Steph. I thought he was damn close to man of the match. I really did.
What I would say, Rick,
player of the match.
On the Duffy injury and the Taylor Ray potential opportunity, I'd look at what happened with Briscoe at Lee when he got his injury, and then we got Amaya Hanley, who's come in now and actually moved from winger to centre and playing brilliantly there now as well. So it's all about, as you're a young player in the squad, it's taking your opportunities when opportunities present themselves, and it's kind of sink or swim a little bit maybe for him now. He'll get put into that team hopefully, and hope the lad just goes for it. He's definitely got the potential.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right, let's move across. Lee 26, Salford 0. Disappointed in the Salford, but that said, Lee yet again white hot 6-game winning streak now for the Lee Leopards. We've talked about Hanley. He's slotted into centre like Cinderella's golden slippers, or whatever they were, glass slippers. Couple of questions here, Steph. First of all, somebody said Lachlan Lamb. What's happening with him? He's staying, isn't he, Steph?
Yeah, not official yet, but I was at a captain's run for the fans thing, and Adrian has said he's staying. I think he said it in a press conference as well, now that he'll be there in 2025. So I think we're just awaiting the official announcement.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there on the screen, Carl Shaw. Hello, Carl. He's asking, do we think Pape was back to his best? I thought Pape on the day was, I think that's 2 weeks running now. Pape really looking the part again.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually, I mean, he had his knee injury earlier in the season, and he hadn't looked right since that knee injury. And I think I know the coaching staff were saying that he's fully fit. There's nothing wrong with his knee, but I think mentally he still had it in his head. He was injured, and Adrian Lamb took him to one side a couple of weeks ago and has challenged him to say, we need you to be the best hooker in Super League. And fair play to Edwin. I think he has reacted to that, and I think that was there to see in his performance against Salford, where I think he just ripped him apart.
Yeah, class. And Greg, I mean, we were waxing lyrical over Zach Hardacre on the day.
Yeah.
Lee's game of the season.
Oh yeah, from what I've seen of Lee, yeah, superb. Back to the Zach Hardacre of old. He was at fullback, wasn't he? I like him at fullback. I do. I think that's his best position. I'm sure Steph and other people may argue differently, but I like him at fullback. I think he brings a lot of attacking power from fullback. I was disappointed in Salford. I thought the discipline was awful on Sunday. But yeah, Lee was superb. Lee Pape. If he's not back to his best, I'm a little bit worried when he is. he was absolutely outstanding on Sunday. Yeah.
The thing is, I've heard a lot of stuff in the press about how bad Salford were and stuff like that. One thing I've not heard from anybody is Lee's defensive effort when you've got Tim Laffey, Nenny McDonald. Running out, two of the most prolific centres. We've waxed lyrical about how good those two centres are this season, and they were absolutely nullified by our defence. And I think that's the biggest thing. With our attack was always pretty decent, even though we had players missing or whatever. But I think now we've got players back, and that team is a team again. Their defensive shape is unbelievable. To keep Salford to 0, there'll be not many teams who've done that to him this season.
No. Well, Dawn Baker says she thinks Pape's best 9 in the comp on his day. Full throttle. I think it's very hard to disagree. We did a poll actually. Who did we think was going to finish in the top in the 4, 5, and 6? And Saints, Lee, and Catalan came out of that. They were the 3. Lee with the most votes with 36. Maybe that's because of how many people. Actually, a lot of people, over 500 votes in that, which was quite interesting. And Lee came out on top as being in the 6. Saints keeping hold of the 6. And Catalan, not sure about Catalan for him. I have to say, not sure about Catalan at all. They're looking pretty dodgy. Massive game. We're going to get to the predictions in a minute. Massive game coming up at Headingley tomorrow night there. That is going to be one to be missed. But no, I mean, look. Steph's right. I mean, the defensive effort, we said, didn't we, on the Magic preview show, what were they going to do? Were they going to put Hardacre into the centres because they were coming up against Laffey McDonald? And, great tribute to Hanley, stood up to him brilliantly. We knew Latelli was going to be okay. Latelli had his normal game. But the question was, on that edge, could McIntosh and could Hanley hold? Because what we also know about Salford is they do the double team, don't they? Lafai McDonald or Lafai will drift. Yeah. And you're quite right, Steph. You know, that happened on the day as well. Again, those eagle-eyed amongst you'll have spotted that. There was a couple of times where either Lafai or Nelly McDonald drifted to try and put double trouble onto the edge. And every time Lee stood firm. So you're spot on, Steph.
But I also think Lee's second rowers have got a lot to be praised for in that, because they covered the centres and the wingers magnificently.
Yeah. There's also Keenan Brand as well deserves a shout out. He came in for Josh Charnley. He first came back since he did his medial ligaments in a game early in the season, and he had a great game. And of course, no Matt Moylan either in this game as well. So Moylan and Charnley are two of our key players.
Yeah. I've got to laugh at Gaz's comment. Hardacre benefited by being 5 miles nearer to home. He probably has brekkie at home before he got to Aaron Roberts.
Is he a Wigan fan, Daz, by any chance?
Could be. Well, let's move on to. Let's move on to the KR game. Very disappointing again for Catalan. I think Catalan could drop. I know the former put them in the top 6. I think Catalan could drop. I really, really do. Something's not right there at Catalan. As for Hull KR, yet again, some wonderful tries. They really are a team in sync at this moment in time. All I would say to you, Robins fans, is enjoy it, but nothing is won yet, is what I would say. And I don't know about you. They're playing that well at the moment. Here's a question for you. Have Hull KR peaked too soon? They're playing that well, and they are playing well. Totally, it's very seldom this far out can a team continue that momentum all the way. Normally, I mean, Greg, you mentioned Leeds all the time. They're known for it, hitting the straps at playoff rugby league time. At this point in time, KR are unplayable. Has it come too soon for KR?
Well, I've been reading a lot in social media and whatever, saying that of the run-ins, Hull KR have got the hardest running to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think the next 5 weeks will be a test of whether they've peaked too soon. I'm not going to say yes or no, because I think that would be disrespectful. But I think these next 5 weeks, if they get through these next 5 weeks and they finish top, then I think they could very, very well be at Old Trafford.
Well, let's just clarify that point for Steph. Saints this week, then Salford at home, Wigan, Lee away, Leeds at home. That's the running for KR. Beth?
Yeah, it is the toughest running of anybody. They did, I think, someone, one of the Love Rugby League or someone like that ranked it in terms of the toughness of things. But potentially they could. Only time will tell if they peak too early. One thing Hull KR have been very lucky with this year is injuries to key players, a bit like Lee last season. So it's whether, if they can keep everybody fit, then it's one of those where if you can keep the squad together and everyone's playing well, then you can't wait for the next game and everyone's still it's whether the intensity they're playing with then starts resulting in some few unfortunate injuries which could derail them. But hopefully not. I'd love to see OKR at the grand final this year. I think they're one of, if not the best team at the moment.
Oh, there's no question about that. At this moment in time, they're almost unplayable. They've got strike all over the field. They look like a well-drilled unit. They know each other's game inside out. Very similar to Lee last year. Know each other's game inside out, executing really well. Question is, will injuries bite? Has it come too soon? We're going to find out. But Dawn Kirkby there, loved Dawn's company at the weekend. She loves being the underdog. Craig Ford.
That's what they are. Hull KR are the underdog.
Yeah, but Craig Ford being very disrespectful to the Primrose and Blue. I think Warrington might have a say, Craig. I think Warrington might have a say. That when you think about it, one of those two teams are losing points there, which will play into Warrington's hands a little. I think that we could be in for another exciting final game of the season. Could the League Leaders Shield be in a helicopter on the final night? That could be an interesting one, couldn't it?
I want to know what happened to the guy in the white gloves who put the shield back in the box when Warrington beat Saints at the Bonnie Langford Stadium all those years ago. I want to know what happened to him. I think he might become a judge on Strictly or something, but he was a class act, that guy.
He went doing snooker.
He cleans a good cue ball by all accounts. Andy Bibby, no chance Catalan top 6. Andy, it's all about opinions, my friend. You could be right. All I would say is if I'm a Catalan Dragons fan at this moment in time, I'm very, very concerned. Massive game of the weekend. We're going to get to that in a moment. Finally, Huddersfield Giants 20, Castleford Tigers 12. Good spirited comeback for Castleford. I thought the second Gary try was wonderful. I think it came third in our try of the week this week.
The kick.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, Gary's. He seems to kind of be very, very quiet, and then all of a sudden have a burst of scoring. He either scores in the first seconds of the game or doesn't score at all. But yeah, I thought he played. I thought he had a good game, actually, all round good game.
I thought you were going to be humorous there because you said Gary is very, very, and I thought you were going to carry on saying double babble words there for a minute. I thought, here we go, he's on one, here we go, but it didn't quite come.
To be honest, my comic genius left me for a second there.
Well, that Joe Dalgreen, ever the wind-up merchant, he has watched the Catalan game for the past month. Get in the chat, Andy. We like a game of tennis here at Super League. You knock yourselves out.
Advantage, Joe.
Essen Masters back from injury. Looked the part again, didn't he? For Huddersfield. Salford, in the same spirit that Wakefield Trinity are getting a great player in Josh Rourke. I think Salford Red Devils will be very happy that Essen Masters is heading over to the Salford community.
Yeah, but where are they going to play him? Because you got Lafayette and McDonald. So are you going to? Is
one of them going?
That's what it says to me. I think there must be one of those two going because
you can drop McDonald into the second row, can't you?
No, well, I think three really, really good centres.
Yeah.
You're going to be annoying one or playing one at a position, which is never a good thing.
Paul, just relax. That then is very aggressive, if you don't mind me saying. Then you only
passive aggressive, I think.
Very passive aggressive. Paul, who's going to stop Hulk AR? Question mark. We don't need then. This is a family show. We're all friends here at Super League Raw. Look, at the end of the day, rugby league. All I would say is playoff rugby league is playoff rugby league. That's what it is. How many times have we seen? The team that's finished top of the tree with a League Leaders Shield not win the grand final. It's not won until it's won. All I'm saying is, if you're a KR fan, enjoy the rugby league that you're seeing at this moment in time. I think you deserve to be at Old Trafford. I will say that. I think we all would say that.
I think we'd go further than that. I think we'd all want to see Hull KR at Old Trafford.
They play the right side. I think they go there with no fear, and I think they play to win. And I think that makes for a good final. We saw that at Wembley and Hull KR. They both went to win the game, and when that happens, we get really good games of rugby league. So yeah, I think it was just a question. I'm not being derogatory towards KR. I think they're a champion team. I think they're playing really well this season.
I just hope sometimes when you have that attitude, that's when you're tripped up.
Yeah.
So who's going to win the Challenge Cup then?
When next year?
No, last year.
Right, it's come to that time of the show, ladies and gentlemen, where we do our team of the week. So here it comes. The Super League Raw Team of the Week is proudly sponsored by the Good Estate Agent. Join the rugby league community in trusting Stefan and his team when you are buying, letting, or selling property.
It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 22 with a good stage for 2024. Here we go again. The fullback is once again Matt Duffy, just edging out the likes of Hardacre, Rourke and Evans, who all had magic weekends. Forget one-arm bandits. Duffy was a one-leg bandit who produced an heroic performance to get the Wolves home at 2. It's Josh Fewless. It's not just Willy Wonka, folks, who can sugarcoat things. Oh no, Josh sprinkled himself with the sweet stuff just before kick-off. His try-saving effort was like taking candy from a baby. Or is it a try from Hanley? At 3 is the returning Essen Masters, who could be heard saying to the Tigers, Daddy is home. He didn't mean Cliff Richard either. Oh no, he moved it and grooved it, leaving the opposition dreaming of Santa and snow. At 4, your Myler Hanley of the Lee Leopards, who has taken to centre like a sausage to a Yorkshire pudding. He's like a toad who can find any hole, unless that comes in the shape of Tim Lafay, then it's just simply ouch. At 5 is Ryan Hall. Oh, he's like a fingerprint, unique with intriguing lines. At full time, McNamara called in CSI to forensically analyse his side's defeat. The result, well, Ryan had his hands all over it. At 6 is Jack Compactolo with the London Broncos. just like a fine lasagna. Jack's performance had many layers, tries, assists, and questionable haircut, but in the main, satisfying with just enough room left for a tiramisu. At 7 is George Williams of the Warrington Wolves. There's no doubt that he's the salt to Matt Duffy's pepper. Williams' performance was seasoned to perfection, pushing it when it was needed and feeding on the leftovers of Ty with relish. At 8 is Luke Thompson of the Wigan Warriors. He's one of the signings of the season, folks, isn't it? If ever there was a human example of anti-gravity, it's Thompson, as quite simply, he's too hard to put down. At 9 is Edwin Ipape. Now Ipape doesn't preach, but he put Salford in trouble deep. He won't be losing sleep either. This was Edwin back to his Street Team form. No wonder the Peter Roarers cherish him. At 10 is Reece Kennedy of the London Broncos. Only Thompson made more metres, and considering he was coming up against a man who is so good they named him twice, we just had to recognise his fine achievement. What a performance on Saturday. At 11 is the fantastic Kalepi Tanganoa. Not only is Kalepi a hero of Craven Park, but he is good at maths as well, especially subject trigonometry. He drew a crowd of 20,000 this weekend to witness his lecture. At 12 is Junior Nsemba of the Wigan Warriors. Michelangelo, Donatello, oh no, forget turtles, folks. These are masters of masonry, and they would consider Nsemba their greatest work if they was to produce him today. Simply magnificent, and he's coming to a museum in Australia very soon. And finally is the Englishman with the Italian name, Elliot Minchella. Once more proved that the Super League is his yard in 2024. Instead of connecting, his shirt should say trespassers beware. If you can read this, you're in range. You can't say you've not been warned. Go on, Elliot lad, put some shots on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 22.
So there you go, the team of the round for round number 22. Very, very difficult to pick a fullback this week, it has to be said. I went with Duffy, a hat-trick. I mean, one leg, it's hard not to give him Hardacre. Evans and Rourke ran him incredibly close. You couldn't argue with any of them, quite frankly. There you go, boys. Any arguments there? Anybody unlucky not to be in?
I'm delighted Tanganoa's in there. I thought he was probably one of the best players of the whole weekend.
Yeah.
I thought he was absolutely superb, Tanganoa. Minchella, these guys. I thought Mikey Lewis probably pushed the halves close.
To be honest, mate, one of his quieter games. If
that must have been when the Stella Artois was kicking in.
Well, by all accounts, mate, I'm not being funny. He had sore fingers from about half time, so that probably impacted his game.
but no.
He couldn't. Let's be fair, mate. He couldn't. You say he had a good game. He couldn't kick a goal, save his life. 6 missed.
Very true, but I thought he had a decent game. But that it's all opinions, isn't it?
It is. A couple of your boys in there. Hanley got in there, Steph, and fully deserved.
Yeah, he came in for a lot of praise off Adrian Lemon, rightly so. When we talked about him earlier, coming in as a winger for Briscoe, and to then have to change to be centre now, partnering McIntosh. I think those two are becoming lethal between them. They're forming a good partnership with Latelli and Charney on the other side, or Brand as it was this week. But great seeing, like we said before, Edwin coming back to his best now, which I don't think that's any coincidence with the run that Lee are going on at the moment, which is fantastic from a Lee perspective. I agree with you on the fullbacks as well. I think didn't 3 fullbacks get man of the match? Didn't Rourke get man of the match as well?
Yeah.
So
Rourke was sensational.
And Rourke all getting man of the matches. So fullback was probably the hardest one this week to pick, but I don't think anybody could begrudge Duffy on that heroic performance at scoring 3 tries. No. I think he was sensational.
Well, interestingly, Paul, clearly a KR fan, he said that the team of the week was the 1 to 13. We do things accurately here, Paul, and let's behave yourself. But it says there, KR top without a kicker. You're absolutely right, Paul. But in playoff rugby league, that could be a big problem.
Yeah.
It could be. Warrington, in the 2 games that Warrington beat KR this year, had you have had a kicker, you'd have probably got 3 wins out of 3 against Warrington.
And when you're going into the playoffs and against very good defensive sides, all that because they're in the top six, they're good defense. So your tries will, by nature, tend to be out wide because that's where the kicks and your passes go. So that could be very costly for KR in the playoffs.
A word of warning here. I remember when Warrington won the League Leaders Shield, and they went out in the semi-finals to Leeds, because they had an absolutely sensational kicker in Kevin Sinfield.
Well, I think a better example, Reggie, is Huddersfield. When Huddersfield did a similar thing to KR, and they got the League Leaders Shield, and they went out very early as well in the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, was Paul one of the chaps we were chatting to in the Scarborough Hotel? Yeah, because I don't know why I'm thinking that. I just am. Is Paul? Let us know. Were you one of those Hull KR fans we were having a few drinky poos with? It'd be very interested to know if you were. Let's just quickly laugh at the Goldthorpe. I'm going to go back to that league game.
Oh, my favourite time of the week.
Yeah, let's just have a quick laugh at the Goldthorpe. Right. Paul's trying to turn this into the KR show. Just enjoy your time, is all I would say. Yeah, and I hope you do really well, and I really do. But sometimes humility is not a bad thing, sir. O'Donnell got 2 points in the Goldthorpe. Now, actually, O'Donnell was steady away, but for me, never 2. They gave 3 to Hardacre. Can't disagree with that. O'Donnell got 2. Right now, this is going to upset you. Oh, dear me. Paul's on one here. Right, that's it. O'Donnell got 2. Just to let you know, the Goldthorpe did not give you Pape or Hanley a point. They gave a point to a player who I thought had a shocker. Gareth O'Brien.
Oh.
Gareth O'Brien got a point. He made so many errors.
Yeah.
He dropped the ball over the line. I thought O'Brien was pretty average. Of all the league players, he would probably be in the bottom 3 for me, Steph.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he had a shocker. I think he did. I've seen players have a lot worse performance than Gaz O'Brien did the weekend. I think he did. He was all right, and he got hit around the head again. Bearing in mind he's just come back from a concussion, Gaz O'Brien. Yeah. But no, my 3-2-1 was Hardacre, Pape, and Hanley. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think O'Brien has had better games. Let's say
he has. Well, Steph has just nailed exactly that. Super League Roll, 3 points for Hardacre, 2 for Pape, 1 for Hanley. They didn't have a shocker. They had a shocker in that game, I have to say, and they also had a bit of a shocker in the London game. So in the London game, 3 for Rourke. I mean, God, you'd have to be out of space to not give Rourke 3 points in that. They gave 2 to Leyland. I thought Leyland was steady away. I've got no issue with that. But did anybody see Lee Kershaw on the wing at a point?
No.
Did anybody see that?
He had a decent game. He had some good runs.
Pagnolo, 2 tries and 2 assists and a try. Reece Kennedy, second highest meters made in the week. I mean, I'm not being funny, but dearie me, Kershaw. Anyway, so they're the Goldthorpes this week. Not too shit. Not like I say.
You nearly swore. You nearly got yellow.
Yeah. I'm not now. Anyway, right. We're now going to go on to round number 23. That's magic out of the way. Some great debate there. Some great times. Like I say, some wonderful tries. Go and treat yourself after the show tonight. You've not seen any rugby league. Go and watch tries of the round number 22. Go and have a watch of them after the show tonight. Some absolute belters. Right. We're going to give a shout out to our sponsor, and then we're going to get into the predictions for round number 23. Here we go.
Love that crunch.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
Right, round number 23, here it comes, okay. What was your favourite game of the weekend? Been asked there by Jack Topping. For me, personally, I would probably go London KFC. Reggie?
I enjoyed the Wigan Saints game, to be honest.
Did you? No, I enjoyed FC against London. We'll ask Steph in a minute. Right, round 23. Rhinos, Dragons, Tigers, Wolves, Saints, Robins, Red Devils take on the Giants, Broncos host the Leopards, and finally the Warriors take on Hull FC. Now, of course, unless Mr. Sale makes Sky do the right thing very quickly, you might not be able to see every game this week. So I don't know about you guys, but what I'll be doing is I'll be recording the game that is being shown on Sky and watching plus the other game on Friday and Saturday. That's my way around it. Steph, we've been asked, what was your favourite game of the weekend? Your favourite game, not including your own?
Just gone?
Yes.
I would say Castle Huddersfield.
Yeah, it was the closest one, I suppose.
It's most enjoyable to watch as a neutral.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, so let's get into these games then. We're going to start with the big one, and I do think this is the big one. I really do. I think, we're now getting into jeopardy time when it comes to these games. It really, really is. The Rhinos taking on the Dragons. History, as you'd expect, in the favour of the Dragons. But look at that, gentlemen. Both of them are on similar trajectories. Lost, win, lost, win, lost is their 5-game streak for both sides. It's 1-1 in the series, as you can see there. I mean, interestingly, at Headingley, Leeds have a 72% win ratio over the Dragons at Headingley, 16-6. They've got that. This season, round 3, the Rhinos 18-10. Is it 1-1? Is it 1-1? I'm doubting myself now. I remember the one at Headingley. Have Leeds been over to Catalan this year? That's our quick look.
They must have been.
Yeah, they lost. They did. They lost 26 points to 0. That's right, in round 11 in France, yeah. And, of course, that would now make this the decider. 5th against them. It's a game that the Rhinos quite simply have to win. Simple as that. Rhinos don't win this one. I really do think that is them done and dusted. They have to win this game, no doubt about it. They actually have a better attack, which will surprise many, 407. The Catalan Dragons are slightly better defence, 344, plays 392. The bookies see it as 8-15 on the Leeds Rhinos. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. It has to be said. 8-5 if you're a Catalan Dragons fan. Of course, these squads have been announced. Okay, I'll have a look at that, Steph. As you can see, here are the squads. Brodie Croft back for the Leeds Rhinos. That's a big one. That is a big one. Right. What's your thoughts on this one? I'll start with you, Steph. The Leeds Rhinos taking on the Catalan Dragons. Is it a must-win this for Leeds, do you think?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely a must-win for both sides, I think, this one. Both going to be looking for a reaction as well on the back of the performances at the weekend. I think Leeds probably would be more happier with their performance against Warrington. But obviously, I'm a massive Leeds fan in this one. so I'm going to get my Alex Sharp fan club badge on for this, I think, and maybe go for a pint with him. It's a huge game, but I think being at Headingley is going to be massive for Leeds, and their fans will know how much they need to get behind them for this game as well. It's a bit like you can smell the blood a little bit, and Leeds will be circling. So I'm really excited for this game. I can't wait to watch it tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute cracker, I think.
Yeah, it is. I think it really, really is. Ladies and gentlemen, just to let everybody know, obviously I've been trying to have a bit of banter with the KR fan Paul in the chat, but I'm not having him abusing one of my members, so he's been evicted and he will no longer be watching Super League Raw. That's not what we're about. We don't play that way here at Super League Raw. Come on, have banter, but you're certainly not saying that about one of my members, Paul. So goodbye. Go and watch another podcast. You're not welcome here, mate. I like banter, but you're not being insulting. Greg, your thoughts on these games?
Quite right.
Yeah, quite right. This is a friendly page. We don't need that. Right, back to this game. I think it's a must-win for both. I really do. I think Catalan will be very, very disappointed in their performance. I think Leeds with Croft back and also Riley Lum. I mean, he showed up early doors to be a decent player, Riley Lum.
Of course, no Ash Hanley, Greg. Hanley out for the season. That's a hammer blow.
Yeah, no, they've lost a couple, haven't they, this week?
Yeah, and Allroyd.
This to me is a difficult one. I think it's a must-win for both, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Leeds 9-17 because I think Catalan have got less experience, just about less experience.
Yeah.
Than Catalan than Leeds, but that's a gut feeling I get.
Yeah. And I just want to echo Kev Wall's sentiments, Kai. Paul was coming for you there in the chat, mate. Very well handled indeed. I support that as well. I thought Kai was excellent there in the way that he didn't take any bait that was coming the way of Paul. Very well done, Dawn. Not that we can control that, but on behalf of myself and the team, apologies. You shouldn't be getting that type of thing said to you when you're watching our programme, so I do apologise for that. Right, speaking of Dawn's, Dawn Kirkby, Leeds Rhinos 9-17. I'll come back to you in a sec, Steph. Let's do a few of these shout-outs. Dawn Kirkby 9-17, John Wilkinson, Leeds 9-17, Phil Hunt, that's a new name, 9-17. Yeah. Hello, Phil, how are you? Kev Worrell, 1-8, the Leeds Rhinos. Robert Hickson, hello, Rob, good to see you, my friend. He's gone Leeds 1-8. Daz Dean, I think that'll be another member, 1-8, going there as well. Oh wait, I hope Alex Sharp's turned up. Hello, Alex. I've been worried about you. I've not heard
Good timing, Alex.
I've not heard from him and seen him for many a day. Alex Sharp.
Alex, don't you start now, Alex?
I know, yeah, don't you start? Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, unbelievable, great stuff. So yeah, a lot of love for Leeds. Everybody's gone Leeds. Fans Form 18+. Joel Scholes has gone Leeds 9-17. I'm going Leeds 9-17. Steph, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I didn't give my prediction.
Go on,
I'm going Leeds 1-8. I'm with Alex. Come on, Alex.
You're going Leeds 1-8.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. Would help if you actually read the right ones out. You have, haven't you? Yeah, but I was right. 9-17 across the board. But yeah, you've gone 1-8. That's fine. Happy days. Right, let's. What drama did you miss? Nothing, lads. Not even worth talking about, my friend. Let's carry on with the merriment that is rugby league, the greatest game on earth. We now go to the jungle. The Warrington Wolves head to Castleford. A 4-game losing streak for Casper. Warrington have bounced back after that KR defeat with 2 wins on the spin. They played each other once, of course, this season. That was in round 3, a 30-8 win for the Wild. It's a good hunting ground, this, actually, for the Warrington Wolves. A 67% win ratio overall, but a 60% away. So they haven't got a 60% win ratio at the jungle, which is interesting. Let's go to the squads again. The squads have been announced for this one, so we can put them up on the screen. Jensen Windley returns to the squad, as does Luke Hooley and Fletcher Rooney for the Casper Tigers. Maurice Mustafa is unavailable due to suspension, and George Lawler and Nixon Putt are also out. And of course, the big hole for Warrington is Matt Duffy. There he is, Kai Taylor-Ray. We did put a poll out who we thought was going to start at full back. Everybody on the forum thought it'd be Josh Fewlis. It would appear that it is going to be Kai Taylor-Ray. Fewlis will be kept on the wing. Of course, the temptation would have been to bring Lindop in as well. But it looks as if it is going to be Kai Taylor-Ray. Again, the forward line, it's a bags of riches there for Warrington. But the question here, though, Steph, is will Sam Burgess having to go back to Australia to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, will that have disjointed the prep plus the Duffy factor? Don't get me wrong, Marshall, Gleeson, etc., great coaches. But the fact that Burgess has been away for this week, the Duffy factor as well. Is there a glimmer of hope here for Casford, Steph?
I wouldn't. No, I don't think there is. I'd like to think that Burgess has gotten better prepared than that, and I think if I was a betting man, I would reckon Burgess has said to them, "I'm not going to be here, so you've got a point to prove." Put a challenge down to them, do it in my absence, kind of thing, and he'll be Skyping or zooming into the team meeting prep and all that kind of thing. He's not going to just leave it alone and say, "I'm off doing me all the fame stuff. See you later, lads." He's better than that. He'll be right with them up until kickoff, and he'll probably even give the team talk in the dressing room via FaceTime or whatever he needs to do. You've got good enough coaching staff there. I think the only thing for me with Castleford, and it was my worry when Lee played him there, and we've still got to go there again, is it's a very narrow pitch and it doesn't suit expansive rugby, and I think that's, Cass use that to their advantage, as they should. You use home advantage as best you can, but I just feel Wire are going to have too much for them here. I don't think they were severely tested against Leeds. It's like I don't think they've had a massive game beforehand, so I think they're going to be all right. It's going to be 18+ Wire.
18+. Kev Wall there saying next man up mentality for the Warrington. Phil Webster makes a good point in the chat. The loss of Duffy, a tighter pitch. He's going Warrington 1-8. He thinks it'll be close. We've actually got Jack Anson, and that's a new name as well. Jack Anson on Facebook. Hello, Jack. Welcome to Super League Raw. Cass 1-8. Joe Dalgreen says 18 plus for Wire with a Taylor Ray hat trick. Freddie McGilvey. Hello, Freddie. Good to see you, my friend. 18 plus for the Wire. Ian Ripson. Hello, Ian. There he is. New member here at Super League Raw. Ian, he was with us at the weekend. He's gone Wire 18 plus. Ashley Webster, Wire 917. A lot of love for Wire. Dawn Kirkby going the same way, 18 plus. Kev Wall as well. Greg, from your perspective, Warrington fan, any concerns going into this, or are you concerned that Cass could actually turn up and put a shock on here?
As a Warrington fan, you've always got to be concerned. I've been watching him for too long, never to be concerned. Sam is back in the country, or will be for the game. He will be there. Dufty is a huge loss. But as I said before, bringing Taylor Ray into this game is probably, I think he may well have played anyway, whether Dufty was injured or not.
Yeah.
What I think this doesn't mean now is that we will rest other players. There's rumours that he might rest Vaughan. I think Luke Yates, the addition of Luke Yates has been a masterstroke. I really do. And while there's always a glimmer of hope, and yes, it's a narrow pitch, and Warrington have been tripped up there many times in the past. I think they'll come out on top. I think it's 18 plus to Warrington.
Radio. Gary Schofield agrees with you, Greg. Joel's going 9-17. The Wire. The fans form 18 plus for the Wire. Rob Higson, absolutely. He thinks Sam has put steel. And I think the thing about Kai Taylor, the thing about Warrington, and I've been around the club for many years, yourself as Greg. What Warrington have now got, probably for the first time ever, is an identity that flows right the way up from Scholarship Rugby League.
Yeah.
So Kai Taylor Ray, if you go and watch the academy side of Warrington, the way they set up is very reflective of how the first team set up. So when Kai Taylor Ray goes into number one, his running lines, his plays, all of that type of stuff, he'll already know it because it's what they do in the reserves. So that historically has never happened at Warrington. And if it has, it certainly hasn't shown itself on the field.
And the other thing, Dave, is we've also got a coaching team that isn't now afraid of bringing youngsters in.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look at Sam.
Gary Chambers.
Yeah, but it's Gary Chambers, but also Sam Burgess in it. I mean, the amount of raps he's given the likes of Oldroyd Lindop this year, he just instills them with confidence. Next man, you're quite right. I'm going 9-17. It's always a difficult place, I think, Cass, to go. Don't get me wrong. Warrington have put big margins on there in the past, but Castleford have showed. I mean, all right, they're on a 4-game losing streak, but let's not forget there was only about 10 rounds ago where Castleford were really putting in some proper performances against the big boys. Let's not forget about that. Really tight games where they could have won.
Oh, I agree. I think the difference
came to our place, got the draw at our place.
They've got it in them.
Sorry, Dave. I generally think the difference is starting with Powell at hooker. That's made so much difference to Warrington's structure.
Yeah,
and to the solidity of them across the park.
The solidity. That's the second time. So have you noticed? Second time. Is he getting paid per word? That's twice now. Solidity has been mentioned by Mr. Nixon today.
Really?
Have you been reading that in some of your students' essays, mate? Solidity.
100%.
Hey, something's going on there, Steph. Something's going on there.
If I have been reading that, I've been teaching them well.
Something's definitely amiss there. If you're asking me, Steph, we're
not doing the Queen references again, are we? The Queen songs.
The Queen. No, I can't remember a Queen song in it. Right, okay. So
break 3.
So let's just go through them then. Schofield 18 plus the Wire, Greg 18 plus, Steph 18 plus, fans form 18 plus. Me and Joel going 9-17 also for the Wire. Right, let's go to where we're going to go to next. Should we go to? Let's go to the Salford game. Let's do a little bit of this one. See how we get on here. So the Salford Red Devils taking on the Giants. There you can see history 32-24 in the favour of the Salford Red Devils. Now at the Salford Community Stadium, it's 8-6 to the Giants. Since they moved to the Salford Community Stadium, the Giants hold the hub hand. That's an interesting one for you, Huddersfield Giants fans. Of course, they've met each other a couple of times this year. Round number 10, Salford 18-16 win at the John Smiths. And then in round 18, it was the Huddersfield Giants that got a 16-8 win over the Salford Red Devils. Again, the squads for this are in, so I'll put them on the screen while I'm talking you through it. Sam Stone, of course, was on the receiving end of HIA. He's out due to concussion protocols. He's not there, as you can see. There's 2 suspensions as well for the Salford Red Devils. No Tim Lafine, no Ollie Partington. So Ben Halliwell is back into the squad. Kay Custon, Nathan Connell as well. Good news for the Huddersfield Giants. Joe Greenwood is back from injury. That's a big bonus for him. Good play, Joe Greenwood. He was playing some good rugby league as well before his injury. Aidan McGowan as well, the young lad who I felt has played pretty well when being called upon for the Giants this year. He's also in the 21-man squad. It's fair to say, Salford shocking at the weekend, and they were. That said, just to make Steph happy, Lee were brilliant. But Salford will be very disappointed with the way in which any team who gets nilled is going to want to strike back. So that's got to be something that Huddersfield needs to be mindful of. And also, let's be fair, Huddersfield looked in the box seat at half-time at Magic. It looked like it was going to be another stroll. Did they take the foot off the gas? Was it just the fact that Casford got up for the game in the second half? But I think those two things combined is a concern for Huddersfield. One, expect some sort of response from Salford. Two, they fell away a little bit in the second half, taking nothing away from Cass. They scored some wonderful tries in that game. Greg, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah.
Salford Giants. What's your thoughts?
Tim Lafay's a big miss.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
He's a huge miss, Tim Lafay. And I think Huddersfield will be confident going into this. Yeah. I think they did. No, I'm not going to insult Castleford. I think Castleford played better, but Huddersfield did what they needed to do in the second half to make sure they didn't lose it. I'm going for a Huddersfield 9-17 win.
You're going for a biggie. Wow, 9-17.
Oh, that's Greg Roach leaving the country. Never coming back.
He's already left. He's already gone.
He's already gone.
He's not yet. I mean, he's having a cocktail somewhere in Marbella, I think, at the minute.
To be fair to Huddersfield, I thought Ollie Russell looked the part again in the halves. He's off to Wakey next year. I thought Connor was played well. I mean, I certainly wouldn't have had him in the top 3. I think there was people who had him at man of the match. I didn't see that personally on the day, I have to be honest. But he was steady away. His goal kicking was decent. I thought Masters was brilliant on his comeback. He'll want to put on a performance as well, of course, to show the Salford fans what they're getting. He's got an extra 80 minutes in his legs, so expect better from Masters. They've got a really good, decent back line. They just missed Swift, haven't they? I mean, that's been a hammer blow for him this season. With Greenwood as well coming into the pack, that's a bonus as well. To have someone like Joe Greenwood, a bit of real beef in the pack, that's going to benefit the Huddersfield Giants. It's intriguing stuff, isn't it?
100% it is, and I think I wouldn't underestimate the Sam Stone as well. I think that was a massive factor in the league game because he's been brilliant for Salford. Not just this season, for a couple of seasons now. I think Huddersfield getting Masters back is massive. I am too, Alex. Ding, ding, ding.
Alex Sharp, he's shaking his cowbell. God bless him. There you go.
Definitely, we'll definitely be shaking our cowbells this weekend. I think when you've come off that performance against Castleford, I think Huddersfield could have been a bit more ruthless, but they did enough to win. Salford will 100% want a reaction, but that's easier said than done. And confidence is a massive thing. Discipline is going to be huge in this one for Salford. It's such a big thing, and we'll see what happens. But I'm more out of hope than expectation. I'm praying for a Huddersfield win, just for my Lee Leopards bias, but also with a bit of. I do think Huddersfield could do it. I really do, and I think Sneed's performance was really poor against Lee. Yeah. If you called out Gaz O'Brien earlier and said he had a poor performance. If you look at Sneed's defensive effort on Amaya Hanley's try, everyone was waxing lyrical about Amaya Hanley's try, and it was a great try. But look at Sneed's defence on it; it was awful. It was like a turnstile, and his kicking game wasn't very good either. And this is a guy who sat at the top of the Man of Steel table, so. who knows? But if Salford are to win, Snead's going to have to play a lot better than he did against Lee.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate. All I saw was Bo Derek. That's all I saw. It was a sensational run. Sensational run from
To be
Mr.
fair, someone mentioned it earlier. It was like his dad. He was very. There was a lot of Hanley-esque in that, wasn't there? That try.
He took it. Really. I thought Hanley throughout that game, defence and attack.
Just watch Snead's tackle though on that. It's really poor.
It was poor. It was poor. Somebody mentioned in the chat as well, Leroy Cudjoe going around again. I thought Cudjoe again.
Cudjoe's brilliant.
Again. But again, team of the week. So the official Super League team of the week had Cudjoe at prop. He played loose forward. It's just like, do you actually watch games? Do you actually watch where players play?
At least he had him in.
Well, at least he had it. But that's not in the spirit, isn't it? It's not in the spirit. Reece Kennedy and Thompson all day, for me personally, all day long. They wanted to get Cudjoe in out of position because Minchella was eschewing it loose forward. I'll give Leroy Sir another legendary performance. Many congratulations to you. You are a Rolls Royce, sir. Right, here's an interesting one. The panel tonight, all of us going Huddersfield Giants. I'm going Huddersfield 1-8. Reggie has gone 9-17. Steph's gone 1-8. However, it's a 50-50 split. Joel's gone Salford 1-8 against his team again. The fans forum, Salford 1-8, and Gary Schofield, Salford 9-17 in the chat. Let's give a couple of shout outs. Carl Shaw, that was the Y game. Sorry, Carl. Kev Worrell, Salford 9-17. Craig 4th, Huddersfield 1-8. Freddie McGilvey going with his Giants. Good on you, Freddie. You teach Mr. Scholes a thing or two. 1-8 for the Giants. Robert Higson, Huddersfield 1-8. Andy Robertson. Hello, Andy. How are you, mate? 1-8. Nicola Burton Wood in the house. Huddersfield 1-8. Hello, Nick. How are you? Joe Dal Green 9-17. Salford. Ian going Salford 1-8. Dawn Salford 1-8. So there's a real split here, and rightly so. This is that type of game. This could go either way. We'll find out on Saturday which way it goes. Right, this is a mouth-watering little morsel, isn't it? St. Helens taking on the league leaders, Hull KR. It's a game that you do feel that the Saints have to win a 6-game winning streak for Hull KR going into this one. Saints have been a bit all over the place, more injuries, of course, coming down the pipe for the Saints. A bit of good news coming, though, in a few moments' time. They played each other once this season, and, of course, that was a win for Hull KR. Good win as well. 40 points to 20 as well. At the totally wicked stadium, look away now, KR. Saints have won 12 out of 13.
Wow.
12 out of 13. This is not a good hunting ground for Hull KR. Okay, don't get me wrong. It gets better in a minute when we go through the squads, but just be mindful of that. It's 4th against 1st. Attack, very close, but again, both defence and attack going the way KR. They are favourite 4-6. The squads have been announced. These are they. Paul Wallen makes 3 changes as back comes Johnny Lomax from suspension. That's timely. He'll, of course, partner Moses Mbai in the halves. And also, the man that is pictured there, I think all of us would concede, Sione Matautia this season has been a massive player for St. Helens, whether he's played second row or prop. Big minutes, big meters, big tackles. That's a big return coming their way for Sione Matautia. Just the one change for KR's 21-man squad. Oliver Gildart misses out because of HIA. Back comes Tom Opachik, who has been linked with the Saints for 2025, which is quite interesting. You look down the Saints roster again, there are big holes in there once again, but they should put out a competitive side. It's one not to be taken. Look, you can't take Saints for granted no matter what. You just can't do that. But everything here points to a Hull KR win. Greg, your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't see anything but a Hull KR win, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think Saints have got too many players out. Lomax is back. Or is in the squad at least.
Yeah.
They've just got too many players missing. Saints, bar Gildart, Hull KR should be at full strength. If they play like they did at Magic Week, if they play like they've done over the last few weeks, KR will have no problems here. And I'd love to say, from a Warrington point of view, that Saints are going to win it. But I think KR are going to win 18 plus.
18 plus, you're going?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Red V TV have just switched off.
Yeah, Red V
Well,
TV.
it's not a bad thing, Steph, is it? Let's face it.
No,
I just think Saints are in a hole, similar to Catalan. Saints are in a hole.
Yeah.
And when you get in that hole, it's very, very difficult. We were in a hole in the Powell years. We got in a hole that we just about dug ourselves out of. Once you get in that hole, it's very, very difficult to get out of it because your mentality and your physicality drops. And I think KR, if they want to, they can make a statement and win this weekend.
Well, possibly. I'd say it is an interesting one. If you remember last week, I think it was Tom McKay joined Super League Raw membership while the show was on. Are we going to get one tonight? Are we going to get one? Is somebody going to join whilst the show is on air? Will they get a monstrous shout out? Is that going to happen tonight? Is one of those people watching right now going to support Super League Raw this evening and scan that barcode and let us know?
There's time yet.
There's time. It'd be very interesting to see if somebody is going to do it. Whilst we're waiting on that, let's have a look at the league, because this is the league. I mean, there is Saints, 26 points. Devil's advocate here. I'll go to Steph in a moment. Greg, you've just said 18 plus. Everybody bar yourself at the moment, Schofield, Fans Forum, Joel, and me. We're going KR 9-17 before Steph gives us his view on this. So everybody's seen this as a Robins win. They would go to 36 points. Saints would stay on 26 points. We're going to come to the Lee Leopards game in a moment, okay? It's a 50-50 call for the Red Devils. So if the Red Devils were to win that, they'd be on 28 points. They would go above Saints. If the Leopards win at London, we're going to come to that game in a minute, they would go up to 25 points. They would be 1 point behind Saints. And all of us said that the Rhinos, everybody's gone the Rhinos. Nobody's gone for the Dragons. So the Rhinos would be on 24 points, 2 behind Saints. Now, that has got to concern St. Helens fans. At the end of this weekend, they could be right back in the mix of Steph.
They could. I mean, if it was up to our fan earlier, Saints might as well not turn up. Our LKR fan, I'll fan loosely.
Yeah.
I think Paul Welling's going to want a reaction from him, and they're at home. I think that's the biggest plus for Saints. And if the fans get behind Saints, it's got a big game feel about it. This one, hasn't it? It's game of the week for me, 100% in terms of
I think Leeds Catalan's a good game. Well.
Yeah, I think it's a toss up between those two. Actually, yeah, you're right. It's got a lot riding on it, hasn't it? This game, and I think the atmosphere at the Totally Wicked is going to be great for this game. I really do think it's going to have a big game feel to it. Bell's going to be a massive miss for Saints.
Yeah,
massive miss for Saints. You'd like to think Hull KR haven't fallen in love with themselves, and I think this will be a game to prove they haven't for me. I think they need to be ruthless. I think if they've got ambitions of getting to the grand final, I think this is one that he's going to target and say, we need to put Saints to the sword here. And it'll be very interesting to see whether they can do that against, Saints are still a good side. They are still a good side, and they've got some good players in that squad and some good young players as well. So it'll be very, very, very interesting to see what happens. I think Mateusz coming back is massive for them. But having Makinson coming back as well, going back to goal kicking and stuff like that. Moses Abai's been playing very well in when he's coming at 7 as well for them. So we'll see. If both teams play to the potential, I still think KR have got too much for them, and I've gone 9-17 KR. But the big but in that is if both sides play to potential, and it'll be an interesting one to see how KR respond in a big game atmosphere away from home. That's the big if for me.
Find your pounds, ladies and gentlemen. Pound for the bus from KR. Next stop, the Totally Wicked Stadium.
Great deal, that, isn't it?
Dawn Kirkby will be on the bus, providing she doesn't get lost on the way to it. That's
to sell it. That's how to sell it.
Absolutely.
£1 for the bus.
Well, they brought a great following to Wire, didn't they? Doing that scheme.
I must admit, I love Dawn a bit. I love the company, but by God, she aged me this weekend. But I do love you, Dawn. I do love you. You did give me. I had a bit of a sweat on. It was like having a third child at times. But anyway, do love a bit of Dawn Kirkby. She's a top lass. Right, let's have a chat with.
That was the second child, by the way.
Absolutely. Ashley Webster, KR 18 plus. Freddie McGill, we want to wait to KR. Ian's going 90-17 KR. Jack Anson, Saints by 2. Oh, that's a big shout. Joe Dalgreen going Saints 1-8. That's a big shout. Nicola Burtonwood, KR 90-17 in there as well. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the vast majority seeing this as a KR win. So it's 9-17 across the board, barring Greg, who sees this as a win comfortably for KR 18 plus. And I can see why they're playing some wonderful, wonderful rugby league football.
It says a lot, though, doesn't it? When Saints are playing at home, given it's St Helens.
Yeah,
it's in Saints 1-8, and we're saying that's a big shout.
Just where Saints are at the moment, isn't it?
I know, that's what it's that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, if all the results go the wrong way for Saints this weekend, you know, you talk about humility. Deary me, Saints are going to be really sweating because they need. Again, I know they're going to get a few players back over the next few weeks, but the question is, how fit are they? You know, are they going to rush them back because they're in crisis? If they rush them back, will they further aggravate their injury? So if they do get in the playoffs, it might. I mean, there's so many connotations there for Saints at the moment. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't, where these players are concerned in terms of rushing them back.
It's a bit like the Dufty one at Warrington, isn't it? You know, it's all right saying you expect it back in 6 weeks, but that's like an off season, so without a pre-season.
The interesting caveat, and Greg will agree with us, the interesting caveat, when Warrington got to the grand final, it was the Chris Sandow season. Warrington made that fatal error. Sandow was injured. They put him on the bench. The best player for Warrington that day was Deck Patton. And they took Patton off and put Sandow on. Game over. If a player's not fully fit, we saw Warrington with Fitzgibbon in the Challenge Cup. You don't pick a player that's not fully fit. You just don't do it.
And that's because the coach is probably under pressure from up above to say, this is our marquee player. You've got to play him no matter what, even if you're going against what even your principles are to say what's right. So
spot on. Right, let's move on then to the Broncos against the Leopards. Played each other once this year. That was in round 18 at the LSV, 36 points to 6 going the way of the Leopards. But Steph will tell you, it was a comfortable win, but there were moments in that game where London really did, stick at it as they've done all season. Another team on a 6-game winning streak. Lee are in sensational form at this moment in time. They're 7th, London 12th. It's chalk and cheese in terms of the attack and the defence, as you'd expect. 1-20 on the Lee Leopards. London Broncos 9-1. No mention yet in terms of the squads. They will be announced tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled on social media for their announcement. Very conscious of the time, gentlemen. Just to let you know where the others are, I'm going Lee 18 plus. Joel's gone Lee 9-17. The fans form 18 plus. Schofield's gone 9-17. Greg, where you seen Lee?
Lee 18 plus.
You're going 18 plus to Lee? Good man. And yourself, Steph?
Alex Sharp's going with London 9-17.
Of course he is.
I bet. No, you'd like to think it'll be 18 plus, but I don't think it'll be a massacre. I think where London are playing at the moment, Lee need to take this very, very seriously.
Be professional and get the job done. That's the point.
It would be, like Reggie's saying about Warrington earlier on. It would be very, very Lee-like to go and lose to London after the streak and just, to get ourselves into the contention. But I'd be amazed if that happened. But if it did, what a great story it would be.
Yeah. Well, Daz Dean talking about the comment I made over Fitzgibbon and Sandow. He said, Ethan Havard played in the grand final, didn't he, for Wigan?
Yes.
He'd not recovered. Did it? Obviously, they got away with that one, but he was absolutely right. That was not the right decision on the day, but they got away with it. Good shout, that Daz. Knowledge, sir. Nicola Burtonwood, Lee, 18 plus. Andy Crowther, 18 plus. Freddie McGill, 9-17. Fashion Police, 1-8. I think he means Lee's shirt. Alan, that was Phil Webster. Hello, Phil. Another Super League Raw member. He finally gave in to Dawn. Good to have you with us, sir. Alan Meadows, Leopards 24 plus, Lee 9-17. All the love going the way of the Lee Leopards. You wouldn't expect
Wilkinson, London 1-8.
Sorry, yes, there is one in there that's a London fan. He's gone Lee at London
He's a Warrington
fan.
fan.
He's a Warrington fan. Look, yeah, I mean, all I would say is just like Alex Sharp is a very good fly fisherman. Right, let's go into the final game. The Wigan Warriors taking on Hull FC. Hull FC decimated, I believe. The good news though for them is Chimavare will be fit and Jack Ashworth is back. That's a good bit of news. But they are without 14 players, and some of those are the likes of Jack Walker, Danny Houghton, Liam Sutcliffe, Davy Litton, of course, Truman. They've lost some big players there. The Warriors, 76% win ratio over FC. On home soil, that improves to 80. 24 wins to 6 at the Brick Community Stadium for the Warriors. Of course, though, let's not forget the surprise of Super League. If you listen to Ian Judson, he's probably not wrong. The Wigan Warriors went down to Hull FC at the MKM in round 18, 24 points to 22, albeit Wigan very nearly did the great escape that day. I'll quickly walk you through where everybody's at with this. I'm going Wigan 18 plus, so too Schofield, so too is Joel, and so too is the fans forum, gentlemen. Any changes? Do you see anything more than a 3-point score to Wigan?
No, it's we went to Wigan not so long ago on that Tuesday night, and even without Bevan French, they absolutely mullered us. And that we're talking about a team that's a lot better than Hull FC, and that's no disrespect to Ian. It's just fact. I'd be amazed if Wigan didn't put 18 plus on them. I'd be absolutely amazed, and if they did, fair play to them. And so I hope someone comes up with something very creative in the WhatsApp group for Ian in terms of what they'll do if Hull FC do. And maybe one for you, that Dave, as the leader of our gang.
Go on.
A challenge for you if Hull FC do.
Oh, right. If FC, I don't think I've got anything to worry about there, mate. Joe Dalgreen, Wigan 50 plus. Joe, I will take that you wanted your name on screen, sir. There it is. Let's explore it. Enjoy it, Joe. It's on the screen, sir. Freddie McGill, Wigan 9-17. Pies 18 plus, says Phil Webster. Nicola Burtonwood, Wigan 18 plus. Daz Dean, Wigan 18 plus. Wigan 14 plus for Robert Hickson. Ian's going Wigan 18 plus. Dawn's going Wigan 18 plus. No love at all for Hull FC. Sorry, Ian. It could be a painful day at the Brick Community Stadium for Hull FC. But hey, they've had a few this year. The interesting thing, come to you in a sec, Reggie. The interesting thing here as well is points difference. I think it's about 120 odd point difference between Hull FC and London.
This is where they could claw some back with OKR, with Wigan.
Yeah,
their point difference.
Yeah, it could. Again, there's that narrative to keep an eye on here in terms of if London do lose to Lee and Wigan beat Hull FC, what are the margin differences? It could close that top.
Yeah, bottom and top permutations in that one.
Richie, what have you got to say on this one, mate?
Well, Liam Marshall's out. Not Liam Marshall. Liam Farrell's out.
Yeah, Liam Farrell's out. Yeah,
big miss for Wigan. And Hull need to bounce back after that performance against London. Hull will sting. Hull have got a few players missing. They've got a point to prove. 18 plus Wigan.
Absolutely.
That was 18 plus Wigan as well, by the way.
Everybody's gone the way of the Wigan Warriors. Now, look, guys, we've been on for an hour and 50. It's incredible, isn't it? But what a chat, what a merriment of rugby league we've been discussing this evening. Absolutely different gravy, different class. Love every one of you out there. We do. It's all about interaction. It's all about you, the fans. Dawn Baker has come in the chat. He missed last week. He did, Dawn. He did. He was.
Last minute. Got pulled, didn't he, last minute?
Yeah. So so Dawn, I think Dawn's going to have a decent day there at the Brick on Sunday. I think there's no question about that, guys. Absolute pleasure. Like I say, please consider becoming one of the members like everybody else. We are building an incredible community. We're going to be carrying on throughout the winter for you. We've got the quiz in September. There will be grand final tickets up for grabs on that one. There's more coming down the pipe where that's concerned. We need your support. We need your love. We know you got your love. You watch us every week. Just a small donation, as Dawn Kirkby always says, less than a latte a month. Keep Super League Raw on your screens with all the opportunities as well to get involved with the community and the prizes that we give out. It's going to be a great round 23. I think the fixtures are really, really good. Really, some real belters in there. I'm looking forward to it. Dawn Kirkby says she's off for a bath. I don't think it was you. Was it you, Dawn? Was it Dawn? I can't remember which Dawn it was. It was Dawn Kirkby. Dawn, you don't need a bath. You smelt radiant at the weekend, dear. You don't worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing.
She was exemplary on the podcast as always.
She was. She's absolutely great value.
It's fantastic.
Craig, a fantastic debut.
Brilliant debut.
It was brilliant debut from Craig. Well done. And speaking of the Final Whistle podcast, I will be back this Sunday for the Final Whistle podcast. Can't wait to get back in with the gang for that one. As usual, that'll be available for you to download on your way to work on Monday morning. There's nothing like Super League Raw, Final Whistle podcast for that commute to work, a little bit of Rugby League merriment on the way to work. As always, Mr. Sale, good evening and thank you for your company.
More than welcome, guys. Look forward to a fine weekend of sport as always.
Indeedy. Mr. Nixon, as always, sir, an absolute pleasure.
All the very best.
All the very best. We're going to go out with the top performers after round number 22. We will be back for the Final Whistle podcast on Monday morning. Sorry, Steph, go on.
Yeah, I did promise my cousin James I would give him a shout out. It's his birthday today. He listens to the podcast on his way to work. So happy birthday, James. I love you, mate. And I'm going to be his best man in May for his wedding.
He obviously pulled the short straw there. Anyway, happy days. Only
Happy
joking.
birthday, James.
Finer a best man either. Okay, so we're going to do the top performers. Don't forget, Final Whistle podcast. Download it Monday morning on your way to work, and we will be back usual time Tuesday 8 p.m. for Super League Raw Weekly next week. As always, gentlemen, you know what the score is when it comes to Super League Raw Weekly.
Can't beat a bit of weekly.
And very, very briefly, look at that for a leaderboard, Steph. He's
Going back.
Yeah, he's going back with Joel Scholes. He's now going well and truly back. Joel, lad, you're behind both Greg and Steph. That's all I'm going to say to that. We'll see you all next week. Bye for now.
Here are your top performers after 22 rounds of the Betfred Super League. Still leading the try-scoring charts with another at the weekend is Liam Marshall of the Wigan Warriors with 21. The top try assister now on his own is Mikey Lewis of Hull KR with 20. The most meters made in Super League continues to be Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves, 4,036. The top tackle buster is the Leeds Rhinos fullback Lockie Miller with 180. Whilst the most clean breaks have come from our top try scorer Liam Marshall with 30. The most offloads in Super League now is Akeem Aludi of the London Broncos with 47, taking over from Herman S.A. The most hard meters have come from Reece Martin in second row for the Leeds Rhinos, 2,397. Whilst the most tackles have still come from his captain Cameron Smith with 796. Still leading the goal-kicking charts is Mark Sneed of the Salford Red Devils with 71. These are your top performers after 22 rounds of the Betfred Super League.